Well, Roger, there's two things I believe we can promise the audience tonight. Oh, yeah? Well, what's that? Well, Roger, the two things they'll get from watching this video all the way to the end, one of them is they're going to know who's going to win the national championship. They'll know that for sure, Roger, because we are going to walk them through the process, and we're going to review the brackets and look at what FanDuel thinks are the latest odds. Also, we'll focus on Georgia's bracket after the bye week and forecast Georgia's path in all of this. And we will also be featuring the pinned comment of the week, Roger. And we have a hilarious, funny segment that you'll absolutely love, but caution, you'll never watch football quite the same again. And we will talk about any developments surrounding the Georgia championship run. What do you say, Roger? Let's dive right in. Sounds good to me, Roger. Roger, just to sum it up, Georgia, Oregon, Boise, Arizona State are the bye teams that will be playing first round. That leaves Texas, Clemson, Tennessee, Ohio State, SMU and Penn State, and Notre Dame and Indiana as the first round games. Let's get right to it. Roger, the Texas-Clemson game, I think we can all agree that's a Texas victory. Not much to talk about. I really don't see how Klubnik can survive the Texas pressure. The Clemson defense has seemed just not that powerful. Roger, any comments? Roger, any comments on that game? No, I like Texas to win that. It's a football game. Anything can happen. And if Texas allows Clemson to hang around, then anything can happen, but I don't see that. I think Texas is going to try to get a lead, try to get Arch Manning a little playing time. I think Texas is probably going to be looking at that as their little ace in the hole, and that's a Texas win. I agree. Now we move on to the Tennessee-Ohio State. That should be probably one of the instant classics. That one is really a pick-em game, in my opinion, Roger. Well, it kind of looks that way. On paper, Ohio State should be able to win this game. Kind of look at how Georgia handled Tennessee. That was a good football game, and it could have gone either way. I think this Ohio State game will be the same. I agree. The cold, the temperature is going to be around 18, I think, what they forecast. Tennessee can't play in the cold because they're from the Southland, Roger. No, if you've been to Knoxville in December, and I have, it gets cold. I haven't been to Ohio in December and don't really want to. But I don't think that's going to be a factor. If anything, it probably would help Tennessee because the wind is going to be brisk. According to Ryan Day, you can't pass in the wind. So the wind could hand this game to Tennessee. It could, but this one doesn't be fun to watch. I'm going to pick Ohio State because they have a better roster, and when in doubt, I go with the best roster. And there's nothing wrong with that logic. On to Penn State and SMU. That could be good. Penn State, SMU could be a classic. I see that one, Roger, as Penn State simply being able to flex on a team kind of their size. Yeah, I agree. I think Penn State's going to be able to handle business against SMU. Kind of look at it like it might go kind of like the Clemson game, except Penn State to have a little more punch. So we're going to put Penn State in the win column there, Roger. Absolutely, Roger. So far we've got Texas advancing, a begrudging Ohio State advancing, and Penn State advancing. And now, the game that really matters, Notre Dame and Indiana, because that's going to decide which team Georgia plays. Right, Roger? Yeah, that's our bracket. And we're going to pay a little more attention to that one. Break that down just a little later on, but as we're just going through the big format here, Notre Dame, Indiana. Notre Dame, it seems like everybody just picks them. They're a 7.5-point favorite. I can't disagree with that. I just can't get that Indiana-Ohio State game out of my head, and I like the way Notre Dame handled both service academies, and they look good. It's kind of one of those games that you can measure Notre Dame by. Yeah, service academy, but Army was undefeated and a good Army team, and the kind of team that a farcical Notre Dame would not have been able to handle. So maybe this Notre Dame is made out of more sturdy stock than some of the other pretenders they've offered up. Yeah, it's really hard to tell, but they seem to be right. So we're going to go Notre Dame on that one, and that gives us the field. Texas and Arizona State in the next round. Roger, who do you think is going to win that one? I think Texas will handle Arizona State. I think they're just a roster decision, a better roster, and based on that, it's a football game. Anything can happen. Texas has hurt themselves, and they're kind of like Georgia. You really have to sort of cross your fingers when you pick them, but on roster, on coaching, and all the intangibles, Texas. I can't disagree with that. And now, Oregon and Ohio State, we've had, it's a rematch. We've had an example how that game might go. And you, what do you think of that one, Roger? Well, rematches often go to the one that lost. And if Ohio State can actually get by Tennessee, which we're giving them credit for, I think Oregon will win the rematch as well. I think they're a little better, a better offense for sure. And I think it might turn into a shootout, and I don't think Ryan Day's going to win a shootout. I can't disagree. So now it's Texas advancing and Oregon, and Penn State and Boise. Roger, you seem pretty high on Boise. Well, I like them. I think it's a good football team. A dangerous player can sometimes be hard to handle, and I don't know if Penn State can handle a dangerous player. They've got a superstar on that team, but I think Penn State's going to win it because I think they're a better football team. And I can't disagree with that one. However, I kind of think Boise might actually win that one. We'll go with the collective, and I'll agree to you. I will confer to your logic, Roger, and we'll advance Penn State on that. Now, for Georgia, Notre Dame. And that's going to be the big test. Notre Dame's only chance to win this game, Roger, is that Georgia's offense is a train wreck. You agree or disagree? I think Georgia's going to go as far as their offense will let them. Their defense is going to be out there. It's going to be a force, but their offense could let them down. We'll see. They've had 3 weeks to get Gunnar Stockton up to speed. And if the offense can perform, Georgia's going to advance, and this playoff gets kind of interesting now. So we both agree Georgia advances on Notre Dame. That leaves us Texas, Oregon, Penn State, and Georgia. And let's take the Texas-Oregon game. Now, Roger, that could be an instant classic as well. Yeah, we may have a lot of instant classics in this playoff. If it goes the way we're projecting it, I think it's going to be a successful playoff. I think it'll be good football games. You've already got Tennessee, Ohio State, probably going to be remembered as a great football game. And now Texas and Oregon. I like Texas in that one, Roger. As well, I do as well. I believe Texas has the better defense, and I think defense wins championships, and we're playing a championship playoff. I think Texas will slow down. I think Texas will slow down the Oregon offense enough to win a game, but it could be close. But Texas, I believe, will win the game, Roger. And I agree, Roger. Now that takes us down to Georgia and Penn State. Georgia's had a history of difficulty with Penn State in championship environments. You remember, I don't know if you remember, but some of you might, we faced Penn State when they had Herschel Walker back in '82, and it was a fantastic football game, but Penn State came out the victor in that one. In this one, I think Georgia is going to prevail based on their defense. I think they will make that Penn State offense look pedestrian, and if Georgia can put some offense, that one could separate into a bit of a blowout. But that's just my opinion. And so that leads us back to where we started, right where we are the last time we made a video, Georgia and Texas. And man, I would like to see it turn out differently. Sure would be nice to see Oregon or Ohio State in that slot, or even Tennessee. But the metrics say it's Texas and Georgia. Who's going to win this time? Well, Roger, I say 3 times is the charm. And Georgia, especially if they've advanced this far, I would tell you their offense is clicking, and I think they'll handle Texas in a rather dramatic fashion the 3rd time, because there were so many opportunities that neither team took advantage of. So in this game, I say both teams play very good games. Georgia will win it. And I think in this one, they'll prevail somewhere in the territory of 44-21, something like that. If television lets it get that separated. But Georgia would win this national title, and we promised you a winner, and we gave it to you. We wanted to talk about the brackets on the lines a little bit. We'll do that next. Well, Roger, the most shocking thing that jumps at you is this Texas-Arizona State. Texas minus 14.5. Seems like a very large spread. Any questions on that one? Well, I think that one could be looked at. I think it might be a little high, but as the other games actually, I think, are just as interesting as the Oregon-Ohio State. Oregon's only a minus 1.5. That looks like that might be, I actually think that might be a little bit off. You might could take a look at maybe taking Ohio State, maybe taking the points. That one looks interesting from a betting standpoint. Another one that captures your imagination a bit is, Roger, is the Penn State Boise State. Penn State is minus 11.5, and that one seems just a bit off. If anything, I think this game might come down to a possession. So there might be an opportunity there to take Boise and those points, even though not going to change the playoff brackets all that much. But the other games that FanDuel puts out, I don't have any disagreement with those. Georgia's minus 1.5, but we don't even know who they're going to play. That's if Notre Dame is the opponent. But Indiana and Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame's been given 7.5, Roger? Yeah. That one. If Notre Dame is the kind of team that they have to be to win the playoff, I think that one's off. I think they'll beat Indiana by double digits, and maybe even an embarrassing score. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, This is where we highlight the pinned comment of the week. Now, we sometimes publish twice a week. We have published 3 times a week, but we normally pop a video on Thursday before the Friday's game, and generally somewhere on Tuesday we'll have a little follow-up video. So we go Tuesday, Thursday, typically, and within that week we'll pick the best pinned comment, Roger, and you've got a doozy today. The way it works is Roger's going to read the exact comment from the chosen one, and we will then discuss the comment, and you can tell us who was right. You can tell us who was right. Was the commenter right, or were we? And be honest, we're looking for your feedback, and so here we go, Roger. Please begin to read the pinned comment of the week. All right, this one was from the video titled Gunner. It was about Georgia's expectations and opportunities. That was our last video we just published. You probably watched it. Thank you for watching it. And thank you, Fantasy Football at. You can see it right there. A really nice blue circle with an F is their logo, and they call themselves Fantasy Football at. And so, their response, and we'll give it to you.
Here we go. So, Bobo is greasing the balls. Please explain how Bobo causes a player to drop a ball that hits him in the hands. Last year was Bowers and McConkey. Not the guy you think are awesome. You would be an idiot to keep passing the ball downfield for Smith and
Humphreys to drop over and over and over. If anything, it's more Carson than Bobo. I don't support Bobo. I don't care who the OC is if we're winning. It's just logic. Should you that you're chasing the wrong boogeyman? You're obviously dealing with confirmation bias. I'm sure you guys were crying.
you guys were crying about Monken in 2020 also.
So we got the wrong boogeyman. Okay, Mr. Fantasy, you never bothered to tell us who the boogeyman was, but you did agree that Georgia has been plagued by a boogeyman on offense. I don't know who it is. Certainly couldn't be Bobo. He's a great coordinator. He's a damn good dog. And now he's got an SEC title to go with that. So you can't be calling him a boogeyman. So if you can look at the points we've been scoring, you can see that we've gone from 40 points a game. We're not quite that high, are we? So we better find that boogeyman. And I do thank you for commenting. I'm not trying to berate or belittle anyone who comments. But your facts, they get scrutinized on their own. So be careful what you say, because we will listen. That's right. And that was your highlighted comment. We really do thank you for being a good sport about it, Fantasy. We do appreciate your comment. And you made a good point. You made a lot of good points. A lot of good points. But you need to find that boogeyman. If you're looking for a boogeyman, I gave you a lot of hints. If you can't see him, I'm kind of worried, but at least you understand that there's a boogeyman, and we really do thank you for responding. We're not trying to pick on you. Thanks a lot. Good sport, And he really was a good comment. I thought he made lots of good comments. Well, you, Roger? Yes, he was right about a lot. A lot. Except he just missed the boogeyman. That's the only thing he got wrong. And now we're going to wrap it up. Don't leave yet, because this is funny. It's a funny. We don't just pick something that we thought was kind of cute. This is funny. If you don't think so, leave us a comment and tell us why you didn't think it was funny. But here it is, coming up.
Sorry ass DJ.
When there's a guy coming right in your face and he just sits in there and delivers it. We got guys coming down his face.
Feeling is the Cowboys probably coming right down their throats.
Tyrell Williams. He beats.
Needed 2 thrusts to get it in.
Bynes has been coming all night long, but then he pulls out and it's just hard. It's been a while since he's seen a hole that big.